Welcome to Adobe Dreamweaver CC. So in this tutorial we're going to basically go over the application known as Dreamweaver, which is basically the industry standard for creating websites. So this is an introduction to Dreamweaver. We're basically going to create a basic HTML page. When you open up Dreamweaver, you basically are welcomed with what's called the welcome screen. And the newest version, it kind of inserts the welcome screen into the document here. And you can see recent files here on the left, create new documents in the middle, and then you can learn. It has learning tutorials and so forth on the right here. There's also some starters, basically templates down here at the bottom. You can actually access all this through the new document window. So we're going to go File New, which has the hotkey of Control N or Command N on the Mac to create a new document. Now you can start with one of these templates, and you can start with a bootstrap template or email template or responsive starters, and you can go through and see how they look. You have your site templates, which are basically your own site, and then under new document you can access whichever kind of document type you want to start with. We're going to start with HTML, but as you get more involved with web design, maybe you want to create your own JavaScript or PHP. We're going to start with the basics, which is just HTML. In fact, we're going to work with HTML5 here. Under Bootstrap, we can create a new Bootstrap. So we're going to do that also. And basically, between these two, we're going to click on Create. Once we do that, you'll notice we have the welcome screen has disappeared. And we're basically giving two sides of the screen here. So we're in what's called the split view. You have the code view and the split view, and the split view has the live and the design view. So two different versions of this left side here. They look very similar. They both have a white stage, but what you have to know is there's some differences. The live view is basically like a real browser. So if I go to google.com here, it's an actual browser that we can access here. If you need to see just the live view by itself, you can go in between these two panels and you'll get these double lines with arrows. You can simply drag this one to the right and collapse it basically. So here we have a regular browser that we can actually go through. To go back to our original document, we just click on this little arrow tab, and voila, here's our HTML. So that if we want to work in design view, we can actually type out stuff. And I actually have some things pre-typed out in Microsoft Word here. So I'm just going to copy this first line by hitting Control C or Command C on the Mac, and then go back to Dreamweaver here and paste by hitting Control V or Command V on a Mac, and voila, this is header 1 of the page. Now if I go to split view, you'll see that there's a paragraph text tags that have appeared here along with this line. This is header 1 of the page. So each of these are basically, as I insert here, they're going to pop in here. Now I can also type in here if I'd like. So if I go back to the other document, I'll go ahead and copy the rest of this by hitting Control C or Command C and go back to Dreamweaver. I'm going to click inside here and basically paste, and you'll see that what will happen as I click out, all that has updated and it's in here on the page. Now this isn't properly formatted, but it's all within this paragraph text here. In fact, I don't want this to be all paragraph. I want a couple of headers here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click in here after the period and just hit return. And what you'll have seen here is now we have separate paragraph text here. And we can do the same thing with here. We can click after the period and hit return, and we have a separate paragraph. If I actually do it one more time, what will happen is you get the page break tag, which is this one here, which is basically a return. So each of these, if I highlight them, I can change them. So right now they have the P and the P for paragraph text, but as you can see, this is a heading 1. So I'm going to go to the insert menu and go down to heading and simply change this to H1. And voila, just like that, it updates. Now you'll see that it's updated here. The text has gotten bigger and bolder, but in the code view, you'll see that the paragraph is now replaced with this H1 tag. So we can do the same thing in the code view. I can hit return here, and you can see now this line is isolated, so it's got two paragraph tags. So instead of P and P, I can click in here and type in H2. And as soon as I do that, you'll get a red error on the line code, which means tag must be paired, meaning that this P has to say H2. So H2. And it has to have that slash here, the forward slash here with that. Otherwise, it won't be completely encased in the tag. Once I click out and click out in here, it'll update, and you'll see now this is H2. And then we have our standard paragraph text, and we have some line breaks in between here. A line break there and a line break there. I can copy this code here by hitting Control C or Command C on the Mac and hit return and paste. And when I click in here, it'll update, and you'll see now we have more spacing between the header 1 and the header 2. So you can always work between the design view and the code view and go back and forth between the two. The only thing you have to understand if you hit code or split is that when you're in design view, you don't want this to be in live view. If it's in live view, it's basically representing like the website. So you can edit these individual pieces that we have worked on, but you can't edit new text. Like I can't come in here and type out new stuff here. I have to make sure I go into what's called the design view. So that's very important. You will notice that in the live view, those breakers are actually there though. You can actually access them, so pretty interesting stuff. So that's the basic introduction. The next thing, the final thing you should do before we wrap up this tutorial is to actually save this document, because it's extremely important you save it in a particular way. So we're going to go to File and Save As, and in here for HTML, we're going to add the title of index, because this is our starter page. You always call it index.html. And on the desktop, I've created a folder called Web Design Project. So you want to create a folder. You always want to click on desktop and then, or wherever you're going to save your work at, and then create a folder for the whole project to be contained in. So all your linked files will be in there, all your assets, everything will sort of be contained in this folder. So you'll be able to basically move the entire project from one site to the other, and it will always update. So I'm going to click Save, and just like that, we have created our first, yes, very basic website, but we have done it. We have created our first page, our HTML5, in Adobe Dreamweaver CC. See you soon. Until next time. Cheers.